One of the most precious treasures of the Louvre, our Paris correspondent informs us, has disappeared. The discovery was made at midday and the picture gallery was immediately closed. The picture is a portrait by Leonardo da Vinci of Mona Lisa, the wife of Francesco del Giocondo, a citizen of Florence. The frame and glass were left on the staircase of the Louvre. It appears that the picture was missed on Monday night, but it was supposed to have been taken to be photographed. The police recovered from a ditch near the building the handle of an inside door, which was supposed to have been broken off by the thief. As a result of a statement made by an official following eyewitness evidence of an individual hastily joining the Bordeaux Express and carrying a badly wrapped up frame, close investigations are being made along the line. In any case, it is thought to be impossible to dispose of, as it is so well known. More on this as it develops, but first some music.
The Mona Lisa was stolen. Did you hear that news report? How did it make you feel? Did you feel some sense of intrigue? A major world event that ignited your curiosity and you wanted to know more? You want to know everything about it, right? Except I'm the only one talking about it. After a half-second Google search, you know it's not true, so, you lose interest. But it actually did happen, just not this Monday. It happened on a Monday in the summer of 1911, 110 years ago. The thief was an Italian guy who had installed the security glass frame of the painting in the Louvre, and the previous day he hid in a utilities closet and just stayed there overnight. And in the morning, he just picked the painting up and walked out of the front door. Well, actually the back door, but you know what I mean. It took the Louvre some time to realize it was stolen, as it wasn't regarded as a particularly important painting, at least in the context of Da Vinci's works, and they thought it had been taken to be photographed on the roof. The thief kept it for a couple of years before he got caught in Florence after he tried to sell it to the director of the Uffizi Gallery. In the meantime, the Paris authorities, the police, were investigating the theft, and in this process, they interrogated Pablo Picasso as a suspect. In the 1930s, German cultural critic Walter Benjamin wrote this essay titled The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. He was writing about this at a time when technologies that reproduced art or anything else were fairly new, with the exception of the printing press. Benjamin wrote objet d'art, largely meaning paintings, but of course things that we consider works of art extended far beyond paint on canvas, and each art form had its own medium. In the visual arts, moving pictures were in their infancy. Photography was not yet as ubiquitous as in the second half of the 20th century or now, and music had just started to acquire a medium. Music as an art form has existed for millennia, of course, but it's only been recorded for just over a century. Before that, the only form of music was live music. Wax tubes, vinyl records, cassettes, CDs. These were all copies of specific live performances, even if they were in the studio, and allowed wide access to music. Before music recordings, if you wanted to hear a particular song, you'd have to ask someone to play it for you, or go to a concert, or learn how to play it yourself. That last one is unique. In order to enjoy a piece of music, you'd have to recreate it yourself, becoming both audience and artist at the same time. Now, Benjamin argued that mechanical reproduction takes away from a work of art. The ability to reproduce art takes away from the rarity and uniqueness of an individual piece. Reproduction detaches the artist from the piece as well as depreciates his value. A single piece of art shows qualities of the creator, but after being reproduced enough times, the art piece ends up looking like a manufactured item. He called this kind of authenticity and uniqueness the aura of the work of art, which is inevitably lost when it is reproduced. That argument can be accepted for paintings, but what is an authentic book? Has anyone ever watched the original of a movie? Where's the aura of the greatest album ever produced, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? Is my copy of this masterpiece not good enough because it is a copy? They're all copies without an original. No one ever heard Runaway and thought, this is good, but the original is better. Just not the same. It doesn't have that aura. I became obsessed with this record that was censored, but it sounded so innocent. I needed to know what the censored lyrics were, but there was no indication, like there's no lyrics on the sleeve, there's no name, I don't know who made it, like there was no lead at all, but I had to find this guy, or at least what the lyrics were.
More breaking news from the Louvre this morning. Following the disappearance of the Mona Lisa, the director of the museum, Luc Martinez, has confirmed internet conspiracies that the stolen painting is in fact a fake. In a public statement, he has revealed that after its theft in 1911, the original Mona Lisa was never retrieved, and that no one knows where it currently is, if it in fact still exists. The museum, in an attempt to salvage its reputation after 2 years of unsuccessful attempts to recover the painting, hired a master forger to replicate the painting based on academic studies and photographs that were thankfully taken before the theft. The director expressed his surprise that no one had ever noticed the fake and resigned his post following the scandal. There is no updated statement from the Paris police, as they are still thought to be investigating last night's theft.
Well, what do you know? A fake in the Louvre all along, and no one even realized. No one even knew the difference. But is it really surprising? I mean, who has looked at the Mona Lisa since the theft? I mean, yeah, millions of people have seen it, but you know what that room is like, dozens of people squeezed together trying to take a photo or a selfie just to prove that they were there. We don't want to appreciate a masterpiece by the greatest Renaissance artist. We just want to document the experience of our proximity to it. It's the visual arts equivalent of teenagers screaming so loud at a Beatles concert that you can't hear the band. But does it matter that the Mona Lisa is not the original one? If yes, then to whom? A bunch of art history nerds in academia? If so, then who is art for? Mechanical reproduction made books available to everyone, increased literacy worldwide, and democratized photography, music, cinema. If a forge of the Mona Lisa is identical to the original one, with the only difference being that Leonardo never touched it, is it so worthless without his aura? And if the Mona Lisa on display is not the original one but no one knows about it, is it really a fake? There is only one Mona Lisa. Except for the Prado one or the Sly one, the Isleworth one. Oh, and the one at the Hermitage? Yeah. And it's the most valuable and most famous painting in the world because of this theft. Over a century ago, someone stole it and made it the most valuable piece of art in human history. From December 1962 to March 1963, the French government lent it to the United States to be displayed in New York and Washington, D.C. In New York, it was estimated that 1.7 million people queued in order to cast a glance at the Mona Lisa for 20 seconds or so. A literal handful of people have really seen the Mona Lisa since then. So, let's embrace our cultural moment of mechanical reproduction. You want your own Mona Lisa? Get it. Get a high quality print. The truth is, you'll be able to enjoy it a lot better that way. Everything that makes it a masterpiece, you'll be able to appreciate more in your high quality print than if you ever went to the Louvre to check it out. Unless you steal it again. If that even is the original one. The question is, who is art for? The paintings market will say for whoever has amassed the most money by screwing over workers. As Fran Lebowitz said, you don't earn $1 billion, you earn $10 an hour. You steal $1 billion. And why do all these rich cocksuckers want to own all the Rothkos and Basquiats, a man that they'd otherwise happily watch getting shot by the NYPD? Because paintings are currency. That's all they are. They signal to us poor people that they're rich, and they signal to their rich friends that they have a refined artistic taste because their spotty arts consultant, still paying off a BA in arts history, told them it's going to rise in price like a fucking Bitcoin. But hey, I don't care. I'm all for overpriced commodities being called art, but at least I can wear Red Octobers. And sure, you can go see the Mona Lisa. In theory, behind a sea of dumbasses taking pictures of it. What a way to take in some art. Really enjoy it, So let's admit it. The reason why its theft made it the most famous painting in history is because you lot are suckers for stories.
Of course, the story.
The mystery. You'd be bored to death if you read an article about why the painting's relevance started to change in the middle of the 19th century. And you'd lose a bet daring you to look at the painting for over 5 minutes without touching your phone. With this in mind, having agreed that the only cultural value of the painting is its sensationalistic story, the mystery of it all, let's make the most out of the Mona Lisa story by publicly setting it on fire. That act would have a lot more artistic value than the painting ever had anyway. Let's give this story the bombastic ending it deserves. Let's be honest about it.